At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to a young cyborg who does not even know her own name. The year is 2563, hundreds of years after a devastating war destroyed most of human civilization. High above the clouds floats Zalem, the last surviving sky city. It is clean, powerful, and completely unreachable to the people below. Underneath it lies Iron City, a crowded industrial wasteland filled with humans, cyborgs, criminals, factory workers, and desperate dreamers. Everything useful goes upward to Zalem, while mountains of garbage come crashing back down. One morning, a cybernetic doctor named Dyson Ido searches through the enormous scrapyard beneath the city. He is looking for damaged mechanical parts he can reuse in his small clinic. Most of what he finds is broken beyond repair, but then something catches his eye beneath a pile of twisted metal. It is the head and upper body of a young female cyborg. Her body has been destroyed, but her human brain is still alive. Ido cannot believe what he is seeing. The technology inside her is ancient, yet far more advanced than anything currently used in Iron City. He carefully carries her back to his clinic, where he connects her surviving core to a beautiful mechanical body he has secretly kept for years. The operation works. When the girl wakes up, she can walk, speak, think, and feel, but there is one terrifying problem. She remembers absolutely nothing about herself. She does not know her name. She does not know where she came from. She does not even know why she was buried in the scrapyard. Ido gives her food and watches her discover simple things for the first time. Even tasting an orange feels like a miracle to her. Her mind is empty, but her personality is curious, warm, and full of life. Since no database contains any record of her identity, Ido gives her a new name, Alita. He tells her she can stay with him until they discover the truth about her past. But what Alita does not realize is that the name and body Ido has given her are connected to a tragedy he has never fully recovered from. Ido takes Alita outside and introduces her to Iron City. She sees people with mechanical limbs, workers carrying heavy equipment, street vendors, criminals, and giant machines enforcing factory law. Above them all, Zalem hangs in the sky like a promise no one is allowed to touch. Ido explains that people on the surface are forbidden from entering the Sky City. No matter how rich, talented, or powerful they become, Zalem remains closed to them. While exploring the market, Alita becomes fascinated by a violent racing sport called Motorball. Cyborg athletes move at incredible speed around a circular track, attacking one another while fighting to control a metal ball. Alita watches every movement with unusual concentration, almost as though some part of her already understands the sport. She also notices a small stray dog and immediately shows it kindness. Then a huge factory machine comes marching through the street. Everyone else moves aside, but Alita's body instantly drops into a combat position. She does not understand why she reacts this way. It happens automatically. Before she can do anything dangerous, a young man named Hugo pulls her out of the machine's path. When Alita sees that the dog is still in danger, she rushes back, grabs it, and escapes just before the machine crushes the ground beneath them. Hugo is impressed. He is confident, charming, and knows Iron City better than almost anyone. He repairs mechanical equipment, explores rooftops, and dreams about escaping the surface one day. Alita is immediately curious about him, and Hugo is equally fascinated by the strange girl who knows almost nothing about the world. However, Ido does not seem happy to see them together. He quickly takes Alita home, acting more like a worried father than a doctor. That night, something disturbing happens. Alita wakes up and hears Ido returning to the clinic. He is carrying a large weapon case, and there is blood on his clothes. When she asks where he has been, he refuses to explain. At the same time, women are being murdered in the city by a mysterious killer. Now Alita begins to suspect the worst. Could the kind man who rescued her be hiding a violent secret? The next day, Ido's former wife, Chirin, arrives at the clinic. The moment she sees Alita, her expression changes. She recognizes the body Alita is wearing. Years earlier, Ido and Chirin had a daughter who could not walk. Ido spent years creating a perfect cybernetic body for her, hoping to give her a normal life. But before the surgery could happen, their daughter was killed during a robbery. The body was never used, until now. Chirin is furious that Ido has placed another girl inside something built for their child. To her, it feels like he is replacing the daughter they lost. Ido sees it differently. He believes the body finally has a purpose because it has given Alita a second chance. Their argument reveals how deeply grief destroyed their marriage. Chirin now works for Vector, the businessman who controls Motorball and much of Iron City's criminal economy. Vector has promised to send her back to Zalem if she helps him build an unbeatable Motorball champion. She asks Ido to join them, but he refuses. Ido wants no part in Vector's world. Meanwhile, Alita continues meeting Hugo in secret. Hugo introduces her to his friends and teaches her how to play street motorball. At first, she can barely stay upright on the skates. She falls, loses control, and looks completely inexperienced. Then something inside her changes. Within minutes, she begins moving with impossible balance and speed. She dodges every player, predicts attacks before they happen, steals the ball, and dominates the game as though she has trained for years. Everyone is stunned, including Alita. Her body clearly remembers things her mind has forgotten. Afterwards, Hugo gives her chocolate. Watching Alita experience it for the first time makes him smile. Their connection becomes stronger, and for a short time, Alita feels like a normal teenage girl. Hugo later takes her to the top of an abandoned building, where they can see Zalem more clearly. He tells her that reaching the Sky City has been his dream since childhood. Vector has convinced him that enough money can buy passage upward, so Hugo has spent years saving every credit he can. He also suggests that Alita may have fallen from Zalem because Ido found her beneath its scrapyard. For Alita, this idea is powerful. If she came from the Sky City, then perhaps her memories are waiting there. But before she can focus on that possibility, she decides to uncover Ido's secret. That night, she follows him into a dark alley. She sees him approaching a woman while carrying a huge weapon. Believing he is about to kill her, Alita jumps between them, but she has misunderstood everything. The woman is not a victim. She is the murderer being hunted across Iron City. She reveals hidden blades, and two more dangerous cyborgs emerge from the shadows. One of them is a giant named Grushka. Ido finally tells Alita the truth. He is a licensed hunter-warrior, a bounty hunter authorized to kill wanted criminals. He uses the reward money to fund his clinic and provide treatment for poor patients. Before Alita can respond, the criminals attack. Ido fights back with a rocket-powered hammer, but the attackers are too strong. He is wounded and thrown against a wall. Seeing him in danger awakens something buried inside Alita. She moves without fear. One attacker charges her, but she flips over him and destroys him with a perfectly timed strike. The blade-wielding woman attacks next, yet Alita avoids her blows and defeats her in seconds. Then she turns towards Grushka. He is enormous, heavily armored, and built for destruction. But Alita does not retreat. She attacks him using a martial art she does not consciously recognize. The moment she lands the strike, a memory flashes through her mind. She is no longer in Iron City. She is standing on the moon, wearing advanced combat armor and fighting in a massive war. A commander calls her 99 and orders her to continue the mission. The vision disappears, but the technique remains. Alita badly damages Grushka and drives Ido's hammer into his chest. The giant survives only by escaping into the underground tunnels. After the fight, Alita demands answers. Ido reveals that her brain and power core are more than 300 years old. Inside her chest is an advanced reactor capable of generating enough energy to power an entire city. She is not an ordinary cyborg. She is a weapon from the age before the fall. This discovery excites Alita, but it terrifies Ido. To him, her lost past may contain more pain and violence than she understands. Elsewhere, Grushka crawls into Chiron's laboratory, nearly destroyed. She begins rebuilding him with stronger armor and more dangerous weapons. Then an even greater threat reveals itself. A mysterious ruler named Nova can see and speak through people connected to his technology. He controls Vector from Zalem and immediately recognizes Alita's fighting style. She was trained in Panzerkunst, a combat system used by elite Martian warriors during the Ancient War. Nova realizes that Alita is one of the soldiers who once tried to attack Zalem. He orders Grushka rebuilt for one purpose: kill her. The next morning, Ido checks the bounty system and discovers that Grushka is not listed as a wanted criminal. Someone powerful is protecting him. Alita wants to register as a hunter-warrior and hunt him herself. She believes fighting may unlock more of her memories. Ido refuses because he wants her to choose a peaceful future instead of becoming the weapon she once was. Alita becomes angry and leaves. Hugo takes her to a professional motorball match, hoping to distract her. She watches a brutal champion named Kanuba dominate the track using spinning blades built into his arms. Vector notices those weapons too. Later, Kanuba is ambushed by a gang of jackers who disable him and steal the valuable parts from his body. Then the shocking truth is revealed. Hugo is the leader of the gang. He and his friends have been attacking cyborgs and selling their components to Vector. Hugo tells himself that he never kills anyone, but the crimes are still violent and dangerous. He has been doing all of it to raise money for Zalem. The stolen blades are delivered to Chiron, who attaches them to Grushka's upgraded body. Alita still knows nothing about Hugo's secret life. Soon afterwards, Hugo takes her beyond Iron City, to the wreckage of an ancient warship. The ship belonged to the same military force Alita once served. As soon as she approaches it, she feels drawn inside. She walks underwater, enters the damaged vessel, and discovers that its systems recognize her. Doors open automatically as she passes. Deep inside the ship, she finds a powerful combat body designed for elite soldiers. Alita brings it back to Ido and asks him to transfer her into it. Ido recognizes it as a Berserker body, one of the deadliest cybernetic weapons ever created. It can reshape itself, repair damage, and generate destructive energy. He refuses to connect her to it, fearing the body will pull her back towards the person she was during the war. Alita sees his refusal as proof that he does not trust her, so she registers as a hunter-warrior without his permission. She then goes to the Kansas bar, where Iron City's bounty hunters gather. Alita asks them to unite against Gruishka, even though no reward has been posted for him. The hunters laugh at her. They do not care how many innocent people Gruishka has killed. Without money on his head, they see no reason to risk their lives. An arrogant hunter named Zapan mocks Alita and challenges her. He carries a rare Damascus blade and believes his reputation makes him untouchable. Alita humiliates him almost instantly. Then the entire bar attacks her. What follows is complete chaos. Alita uses speed, balance, walls, tables, and the attacker's own weight against them. She defeats experienced hunters who are twice her size, proving that she is far more dangerous than anyone expected. Ido eventually arrives and stops the fight, but before he can take Alita home, the doors are ripped away. Gruishka has returned. His new body is larger, faster, and armed with Kanuba's stolen cutters. He enters the bar and announces that he has come for Alita. The small dog Alita saved earlier runs forward and barks at him. Gruishka kills the animal without hesitation. That moment changes Alita. She touches the dog's blood and marks her face like a warrior preparing for battle. All her anger, grief, and buried instincts rise at once. She attacks Gruishka. Their fight destroys the floor, sending both of them crashing into the ruins beneath Iron City. Down there, Alita's small civilian body cannot survive the giant's new weapons. Gruishka tears off her limbs and crushes most of her frame. He tells her that Nova is watching through his eyes. The name triggers another memory. Alita remembers training with her commander, Gelda, who taught her that defeat only becomes real when the mind accepts it. Their mission was to reach Zalem and kill Nova. Back in the present, Alita refuses to surrender. Even with only one functioning arm, she launches herself at Gruishka and drives her fist into his eye, destroying the connection Nova is using to watch the fight. Ido, Hugo, and another hunter arrive with cybernetic dogs. The animals attack Gruishka, forcing him to escape again. Ido carries what remains of Alita back to the clinic. This time, he finally understands that protecting her does not mean keeping her weak. He connects her core to the Berserker body. The advanced material responds instantly, reshaping itself around Alita's identity. It becomes stronger, taller, faster, and perfectly suited to her. When she wakes, she is more powerful than ever. But the most important change is not strength. The new body can feel touch. When Hugo holds her hand, Alita can finally feel the warmth of his skin. Their friendship becomes love, and they share their first kiss. For Alita, this is proof that she is more than a weapon, but Nova now understands her weakness. It is Hugo. Vector invites Hugo to his office and quietly studies him. He knows that hurting Hugo is the easiest way to control Alita. Later, Alita offers to use her bounty earnings to help Hugo reach Zalem. He refuses, saying he cannot let her risk her life for his dream. Alita then does something even more extreme. She opens her chest and removes her glowing reactor heart. The technology is worth more money than Hugo could ever earn. She offers it to him without hesitation. Hugo is moved, but also horrified. He places the heart back inside her and tells her never to sacrifice herself for another person's ambition. Instead, he encourages her to enter official motorball competition. The champion is promised wealth, fame, and possibly a path to Zalem. Alita agrees, believing they may one day go there together. But Vector has already prepared a trap. On the night of the tryouts, every competitor is secretly paid to kill Alita. At the same time, Hugo meets his gang and tells them he is leaving the Jacker business. Loving Alita has made him ashamed of the person he has become. He wants an honest life. His friend Tanji feels betrayed, and the argument turns violent. Then Zapan appears. He murders a cyborg and manipulates the factory records to frame Hugo for the crime. When Tanji tries to protect Hugo, Zapan kills him. Hugo escapes, but now the entire city sees him as a wanted murderer. Back at the stadium, Ido discovers that the motorball players are not normal athletes. They are killers using fake names. He warns Alita.
It's set up, you gotta get out of there.
But the race has already begun. The gates open. Instead of chasing the ball, every competitor turns towards her. Alita realizes the match is an execution, disguised as entertainment. She races along the walls, leaps over attackers, redirects weapons, and causes the assassins to destroy one another. The crowd cheers because they think it is all part of the sport. Then Hugo calls her. He tells her he has been framed, and Zapan is hunting him. Without hesitation, Alita abandons the race. She launches through the stadium screen and races into the city. The remaining assassins follow her, but outside the arena she no longer has to hold back. She destroys them one by one and reaches an abandoned cathedral, where Zapan has Hugo trapped. Alita knocks Zapan away, but the factory system displays Hugo's murder warrant. As a hunter warrior, Alita is legally required to kill him or allow another hunter to do it. Hugo finally confesses everything. He admits he was a jacker. He stole parts from cyborgs and worked for Vector. But he insists he never murdered anyone and he was trying to change. Alita hesitates, torn between the law and the person she loves. Zapan uses that moment to stab Hugo. Hugo collapses, dying. Alita carries him inside the cathedral, refusing to let go. Then Chirin appears. After watching Alita risk everything for Hugo, Chirin remembers the love she once had for her own child. She decides to help. Hugo's body cannot be saved, but his brain is still alive. Using Alita's reactor as temporary power, Chirin preserves his head until Ido can place him inside a cybernetic body. The plan works. The factory recognizes Hugo's human body as dead and closes the bounty. Zapan becomes furious and attacks Alita anyway. But by attacking another licensed hunter warrior without legal cause, he instantly becomes a criminal himself. Alita now has authority to fight back. She takes his Damascus blade and cuts away part of his face, leaving the once proud hunter broken and humiliated. Ido later gives Hugo a new cyborg body. When Hugo wakes, he struggles to accept what he has become. Then Ido reveals the truth that destroys his final hope. Money cannot buy entry to Zalem. Vector has been lying. Ido and Chirin once lived in the Sky City, but they were forced down after their daughter was born disabled. Zalem does not welcome outsiders. Vector's promise was only a tool to manipulate desperate people. Chirin confronts Vector and tells him she is leaving. She no longer wants Zalem badly enough to destroy innocent lives. Vector lets her walk out of the room, then he orders her killed. When Alita discovers everything Vector has done, she attacks his headquarters. Factory machines surround her, but the Berserker body and Damascus blade make her almost unstoppable. She cuts through the guards and reaches Vector's office. There she finds the horrifying remains of Chirin, harvested and stored like spare parts. Before Alita can react, Gruishka attacks. He impales her with a massive weapon, but the pain triggers another complete memory. Alita remembers the final assault from 300 years earlier. She and other soldiers climbed towards Zalem through one of the supply tubes. Their mission was to reach Nova. But Zalem activated a spinning defense system that tore the soldiers apart and sent them falling from the sky. Now Alita finally remembers who her true enemy is. Back in the office, she uses the Berserker body's ability to reshape itself. She traps Gruishka's weapon inside her armor, preventing him from pulling away. Then she slices him in half with the Damascus blade. Gruishka is finally dead. Alita confronts Vector and demands to speak with Nova. Nova takes control of Vector's body and speaks through him. He tells Alita that he has watched her entire journey. He knows she loves Ido. He knows she loves Hugo. And he warns that anyone close to her can be used against her. Alita refuses to be frightened. She kills Vector, even though she knows Nova is still safe in Zalem. Then Ido calls with terrible news. Hugo has escaped from the clinic and is climbing one of the supply tubes. After learning that he can never buy his way into Zalem, he has decided to reach it himself. Alita races to the tube and climbs after him. Thousands of feet above Iron City, she catches up and begs him to stop. She tells him they can still build a life together. Zalem is not worth dying for. For the first time, Hugo accepts that his dream has controlled him for too long. He agrees to climb down, but Nova is watching. From Zalem, he activates the same spinning defense system that destroyed Alita's soldiers centuries earlier. The blades race down the tube. Alita dodges them, but Hugo is struck. His cybernetic body is torn apart, and he falls. Alita jumps after him and catches his arm. For one desperate moment, they hang above the clouds. Alita promises she can save him again. She says Ido can rebuild his body, but Hugo knows the damaged joint will not hold. He thanks Alita for showing him that his life had value even without Zalem. He finally understands that love, not the Sky City, was what he had been searching for. Then his arm breaks loose. Hugo falls into the clouds and disappears. This time, there is nothing left to save. Months later, Alita has become one of the greatest motorball competitors in Iron City. The crowd sees a champion, but Alita sees a path to revenge. Winning the league is her only chance to reach Zalem legally. Every race brings her closer to Nova. As she enters the arena, she raises the Damascus blade and points it towards the city in the sky. Nova watches from above. Alita watches him back. She now remembers her mission. She knows what he did to Hugo. She knows he has controlled Iron City for generations. and she is no longer the confused girl Ido found in the garbage. She is Alita, a survivor, a warrior, and sooner or later, she is coming for Nova. That is where the movie ends, with Alita turning her grief into purpose and preparing for the final battle that has been waiting for her for 300 years. Now be honest, after everything Alita survived, would you have stayed in Iron City and lived peacefully, or would you risk everything to reach Zalem and take revenge on Nova? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you watched this entire story without subscribing, then you have officially survived more battles than half the characters in this movie. But you are still one click away from joining the channel. Do not disappear into the scrapyard like forgotten metal. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and join us for the next movie explanation.